Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a good week. I'm not too sure if I'm going to post these beginning, middle, or end of each week, but whatever day it is, whatever month it is, whatever season it is that you decide to turn on this video, I hope you're having a good one. I hope things are working out for you. And today we're going to talk about something that was revealed to me later in life, more so in college. And as you can see by the thumbnail, we're talking about the Bible and coaching. We're talking about, what does the Bible say about coaching? Do they relate? I'm going to go out and say yes, they do. Just from my experience as a coach and my experience growing up in the church, they do relate a lot. And before you say anything, no, I don't have a haircut yet. I told you it was happening. I kind of want you guys to just, tune in and wonder if it's going to get done. It's not happened yet. Next video, I should be looking extra crispy, okay? Just trust me on that. So back to the topic at hand, coaching and the Bible. So really, I would start off just explaining what I say coaching is, or what I think coaching is. Coaching is, encouraging and challenging your athletes, teaching your athletes. I didn't really know or understand how teaching and coaching related much until I got to college, and I had a really good professor, Dr. Drost, at University of West Florida, who really sat me down and explained it, and how they do go hand in hand. And, it also does go hand in hand with the Bible and what the Bible encourages us to do as believers and what we're supposed to do as coaches. Coaching provides a way to be in a relationship with your athletes, and your athletes to build a relationship with you as a coach. It's two-sided. A lot of kids or young adults who do a sport at any level, they build trust with their coach. They're supposed to build trust with their coach, and vice versa. If you're coaching, you want to be able to trust that your athletes can and will do what you ask them to do, for that specific sport or that specific scenario in the sport, whatever it may be. And also coaching encourages accountability, holding each other accountable, having your athletes hold each other accountable, or you having one athlete hold themselves accountable, and then you as a coach holding yourself accountable. Everyone has a job, and everyone needs to do their job. It helps when everyone does their job. And the best verse that I could find specifically is Proverbs 27:17, and it says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." And we'll get back onto that later, but that's a good verse. Iron sharpens iron. Coaching is a focused relationship that helps people continue to move forward. And when I think about my time, my years of coaching, and what I've had to do and what I've been blessed to do, and the athletes I've been blessed to interact with, that is so true. You get those athletes that are just dogs, that just go out there and they make it look easy. I was not one of them at first. I think by the end of my high school career, I became, kind of a dog, but I wasn't like, him, or her, I was just, it took me a little bit, but I finally got it. But then you have those athletes that are just day one, pure athletes, or day one, they just pick up on it. But then you have those athletes that need more assurance, that need more time to learn what they're supposed to do, learn what you need them to do, because not every athlete has the same situation at home or has had the same experiences in sports, and so that's what leads to something that I saw online. Of course, I did some research just so I wasn't just talking out the side of my neck. I went online and I found something called "On the Biblical Foundations of Coaching" by Robert E. Logan. I'll leave the link down below in the description. Two big points that I saw on the form that I read of his is that one of them is that coaching assumes that God has different plans for different people. I love that. That is so true. You know, I know a quote that says, comparison is the thief of joy. That is also very true. You know, don't want to get off too far off topic, but you know, doing this, there are a lot of people on YouTube who do great things and they're further along than I am, you know, and I could easily just say, I'm not going to do it because there's no way I can be like that. But, you know, I have to just go on my path. And in coaching, it's the same. As a coach, we have to understand that it's not all one size fits all. My approach as a coach, no matter how much I really want it to be, and those who have played for me know, it's not all one size fits all. I can't coach this young man or woman the same way I coach them. I can't do that. It's not all the same. And it teaches you to learn that. But also that relates in the Bible because God didn't make us all to be the same person. God didn't make us all to do the same thing. There are so many occupations in this world. If we all wanted to be accountants, what else would everybody else do? Like we can accountant, but there would be no one to be an accountant for because we'd all be accountants. You know, it's one of those things that there are so many different people, so many different experiences, so many different areas. You know, I live in Eastern Kentucky right now. It's very different here than it is in Florida. Some of the jobs here, you probably don't do in other areas. You know, Florida is the beach. Kentucky is the mountains. There are different jobs here, different lifestyles here, and that's perfectly fine. That's how God made it. Everyone's not the same. So when you coach an athlete, every athlete's not the same. I have some coaches that I can really just verbally tell them like, hey, I need you to do this. This is your job. You're not doing your job. You know better. But then there's some athletes that you can't come at that way. You have to adjust. You have to learn, okay, they respond to maybe not saying anything at all. I've had a moment or two where, you know, I'm a very vocal coach, but I chose once or twice to just, okay, they know they didn't do what they're supposed to do, or they know that that wasn't their best effort, so I'm just not gonna say anything. And it drove them into a different place and they ended up going crazy and doing much better the next time around. So that happens. That's okay. Everyone is different. My dad is a pastor and my dad was in the army. Like it was discipline all the time. So when I had coaches and they yelled, that didn't do nothing to me. It didn't faze me much. I mean, of course I didn't especially if I felt like I was innocent, I didn't like it, but it didn't really faze me. I didn't shut down. I was just like, fine, I'll eat it up. I'll go. You know, just stop yelling. I can do it. You know, I was just used to that. Everyone doesn't have that background. Everyone doesn't have that experience. So you can't assume that everyone can do and adjust and can handle the same kind of, you know, volume or criticism. Everyone is different, you know, in the Bible, that all goes in there because God made us all very different with different experiences and, you know, different backgrounds. Another thing I saw on it, the second good point was coaching provides the accountability for people to move forward into what they have decided to do. I love this. One thing my athletes know is I love the word discipline, but I also love the word accountability. The teams you see on the coaching side, the teams you see that go out there and almost coach themselves when they're out there on the field or on the court or on the track, they hold each other accountable. As a quarterback, if I'm a quarterback, which Lord knows I could never be a quarterback, I don't have the arm strength. But as a quarterback, I got to hold my receivers accountable. Most of all, I got to hold my O-line accountable. If the offensive line is just taking plays off, as a quarterback, I'm in danger. If you're a quarterback, you know. You have to hold each other accountable. That means taking responsibility for what you're supposed to do at your specific time in that play or in that practice or in that scenario, and then trusting that everyone else can. But you can't trust your teammates to if you're not challenging them to hold themselves accountable. It's across the board. That has to be from coach to player, even team managers, accountability. If I'm the coach, I should have ways to put you in a winning situation. I hold myself accountable. I study. I look at what your strengths and weaknesses are, and I put you in positions that you can thrive off of your strengths. If I'm an athlete, I have to understand that coach gave me a job. Coach gave me the game plan. Coach gave us a job and a game plan, and we have to do our jobs individually so that this can work for the greater good. And if you're a team manager or an athletic trainer, they trust you to do what you're supposed to do. Whether that's make sure the water's there, make sure that the wrapping tape is there, or make sure that everyone's stretched properly. Everyone has a job, and everyone holds each other accountable, or is supposed to hold everyone or each other accountable. And it makes a huge difference, because then, as a coach or as a leader, you're not micromanaging. If everyone is doing their job and holding each other accountable, it makes things so smooth, because then you can focus on, your job, or you can focus on maybe the other little things. Like, if let's say the whole team's doing their job right, but we're still losing because, let's say in football, we're letting them run all over us. Okay, now we got to focus on that part. We're going to focus on what we can do to make this adjustment. Or in track, we're fast, super fast, but our relay times aren't that good because our baton exchanges take a little extra time, because either your hand's not upright, or you're swimming around, or we're not being vocal enough in our exchange zones. We can focus on those things instead of wondering, staying up at night trying to figure out what it is. We know everyone's supposed to be doing their job. Now we can pinpoint on small details, fine details. Accountability, another word, and I'm sure I've said this a lot already, the synonym for it is responsibility. Hold yourself responsible for what you're supposed to do, and hold each other responsible for what they're supposed to do. If you accept responsibility, if you own up to mistakes, if you do your job and make sure others do their jobs, this is all accountability. And the Bible, it goes hand in hand, because if we are supposed to be the church, the people, not the building, if the people are supposed to be the church, then we hold each other accountable. We are not judging each other. If it's a family, if we are on the same team, holding each other accountable is not judging someone or, putting someone down. Just like you wouldn't do that if you were a good teammate or good coach. You're supposed to, check in like, hey, I know you said you were going to do this. I know you said you didn't want to do this. I noticed you doing it in love, one-on-one, not putting you on blast. What is it that maybe I can do to help you, because you told me you were going to do this? And as a coach, I've fallen short many times, especially on my earlier years. I was a lot like, my dad in a lot of ways, old school, Army way, brimstone. I was like, yo, you're not doing your job. Like, I don't want you here. Like, I didn't really do a lot of coaching in my earlier years. And now that I've done it for over 10 years now, and I hope to do it for many more years. I look at it now and it's like, okay, you have to teach. You have to be patient. You have to learn each other before you go out and just bark orders. Before you just assume that someone who walks in the doors of a church can do the same service as you just because they're a man, or just because they're a woman, or just because he can sing, or just because she can sing, or, oh, I heard he can cook really well. I heard she can make a really good cheesecake. You can't assume that everyone is on the same page. You have to learn people. You have to love people. And it goes hand in hand with the church. It goes hand in hand with the Bible. Iron sharpens iron. I can't sharpen you if I don't have the quality of being able to do so. If I'm just not using my gift, or if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, how am I supposed to get on someone else or hold anyone accountable? It starts with me. And as a coach, it starts with us. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you got something out of this. I have had this on my heart for a while, and I'll have many more things that I'll share with you guys. Please comment, like, subscribe. I want to do a Q&A at some point, probably later down the road, but ask me questions in the comments down below. And eventually I will try to do a Q&A. Eventually I will try to answer questions about, my experience as a coach, my walk with Christ, things like that I would love to, just chat about. And again, if you know anyone, or if you are someone who would like to be on the show or want to be interviewed, Comment down below. Comment, comment, comment. Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. Like. Okay. Thank you guys. I love you guys. I'll see you next video.